Hey everybody, it's Melissa from Welcome to the Woods. Today we are going to be making a beautiful picture craft with an old wooden window. I got this from my sister and it's this beautiful piece that's just a little bit dirty, so the first step is that we're going to clean this up. I'm going to just spray some Windex on the glass and the wood and wipe it all clean. If you want to go with a non-toxic cleaner, you could use vinegar and water, diluted with water instead. I just find that Windex gets it really nice and clean. Okay, so now we got this all cleaned. Our next step is to sand. I'm going to be staining this wood since it's a raw wood and I want it to be a darker black color. So I'm just going to grab a sanding block. I bought this one. It has one side that's fine grit and one side that's medium grit. And I'm just going to start sanding here. Sanding does two things. It both kind of cleans up the wood, makes it softer, but it also opens the pores of the wood so that it accepts the stain better. If you don't sand, your stain job will be a lot more uneven. Okay, so now I'm going to want to wipe down my window with a wet cloth just to get rid of the sawdust and the sanding residue. Okay, this is looking a lot better. I'm ready to stain. So I'm using a water-based stain and I don't need to tape off the glass for this project because the water-based stain cleans off of glass really easily. Even if it dries, I can kind of chip it off. But it behaves similar to paint where after I apply the stain, I can use a knife and a wet rag to just clean up any overspill. So I'm just gonna go ahead and stain. The stain that I'm using is a black stain. It's Minwax. It's kind of an older stain. I got this at the Household Hazard Waste facility. I like to go there. It's a local place where you can get, it's kind of like an exchange. You can drop off paint you no longer use, and then if you want to look for products or paints, you can go there and get it for free. So I'm really fortunate to have that in my area, and I got this stain for free. I'm just going to protect my surface with a poster board. So I don't get any stain on my desk. And I'm applying this stain today with a simple polyester paintbrush and dry rag to wipe away the excess. So make sure you want to stain with it's mixed really well, and then we're just going to apply. So as I wipe off the excess stain, I want to make sure there are no drips or bubbles left behind or just dark spots. You want to just kind of even it out. Like I said, this one is a water-based stain and those tend to be thinner, so it makes it a little bit easier for me to do that. Now this is the part where I can just wipe off the kind of over stain, even though I didn't use frog tape. You can see here that it's kind of gotten onto the window pane. That's not an issue, because I can just come in and wipe it right up. And if it's already dried a little and it's stubborn, then I just have to wet my rag to get it off. It saves a lot of time to not tape. If you have any questions about staining or any kind of methods for refurbishing windows, I've done a lot of that. So why don't you just hit a comment with your question and I'll get back to you with a reply. I am loving the color of this stain, and especially how dark it's showing up after only the first coat. Now that I've gotten this all wiped down and stained, and there's no excess bubbles or drips or anything, it looks really good. I'm going to let it dry for an hour and then come back to it per the instructions on my stain can. So now I have let the stain dry for an hour and I can touch it. I'm going to go ahead and start preparing what I'm going to put on the inside of each pane. I have 3 little children, and I recently took some cute photos of them and printed them out in black and white 8x10s to put in these 3 slots. So I think this is just going to work perfectly, and the first thing I'm going to do is measure and cut out mats. Okay, so now I have these 3 perfectly spaced white mat boards, and I really like how they look. I'm going to cheat, and I'm not actually going to cut out squares on the inside of these mats. I'm just going to put the photo right on top because I don't have the specialty cutter to do a 45-degree angle and just make it nice and clean. So I'm going to just basically tape the photograph down onto the mat board. Now I will have to use my big paper cutter again because these aren't perfectly sized to what I need them to be. They are not a perfect, 8x10. So I need to cut them skinnier. Okay, so now that I have this one perfectly cut, since they're all the same size, I'm just going to measure how wide this is, and then I'm going to do all of them exactly the same. So I cut it at about 6.5, just a hair longer. Those all look so great. And now I get to just tape them down. I'm going to roll my tape and place it on the back of the photo. You could also use special photo adhesive if you have some. So now I have it on all 4 corners. I put one in the middle too, just for good measure. And I'm going to line this up, kind of just eyeballing that. Okay, now I have all 3 of these ready to go. There's my littlest Theo, my middle child Nick, and my oldest Lily. I'm going to just use some duct tape on the top and bottom to secure it to the back. I know it's not going to look cute, but nobody's going to see this because it'll be against the wall. So I just flip it in. It's going to be a pretty tight fit anyway, so I'm not too worried about it. I think this project is super cute and would go with a lot of different decor styles. I can't wait to hang it up in my home. Here is my finished result. And if you really liked this project, go ahead and click share on this video, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, and follow me if you are watching on Facebook. I love to create crafts, home decor, and DIY home improvement projects. I think you're going to really love my page, and I look forward to sharing more with you in the near future. See you next time!